Hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Deal Clips Bahamas. This is clip number 324, the Citizens Sovereign Wealth Fund legislation. This is chapter 5, the Citizens Savings Subfund. To ensure that you don't miss any clips that yours truly release, please like, follow, and subscribe to Real Deal Clips Bahamas on YouTube. You can also follow me on Facebook. Take a listen.
From the blue of the ocean to the sunlit shore, Bahamian wealth is knocking at the door. Natural treasures in our hands to claim. We're building a future where all...
Listen and listen carefully. I can put this now where every sheep and goat could understand what was done in this presentation. The legislation was written, but to fit the forum that we held, the legislation was reversed, engineered, and presented to the general audience and public. What you are hearing is the legislation. It's not a speech, it's a legislation. It's the legislation. But it was formatted for this town hall setting. So we are not proposing a pie in the sky. We're making no promises. This is not a manifesto. This is legislation. Let's continue.
At this time, we are going to invite Mr. Ricardo Thurston, who is a licensed stockbroker and an investment analyst. Mr. Thurston is no stranger to the conversation of natural resources and carbon credits. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Ricardo Thurston.
Okay, good night, and thank you guys for coming out. Let's start with a brief history on sovereign wealth funds. So, as we can see, we have over 100 sovereign wealth funds around the world, and they have asset values in the amount of $9 trillion. That's trillion dollars. And 45% of that $9 trillion comes from natural resources. These are real numbers. Anybody could go and do the research themselves to confirm this information. We had a sovereign wealth fund. It was contemplated in 2014, and some of the provisions in that sovereign wealth fund dictated that the government had no control over that sovereign wealth fund. That sovereign wealth fund was instituted in 2016, and it was repealed in 2022 and replaced with a national investment fund that the government of the country controls. Well, correction. The Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance controls. So they repealed the sovereign wealth fund that we had, and they replaced it with something that they controlled. We all know, based on that study from the University of Michigan, that we're talking about carbon sinks valued at $156 billion. That is the asset that we're talking about. And we determined, as citizens of this country, that we needed to take the bull by the horn, because we cannot monetize these resources if we don't have a bank account. We have the ability to map out the carbon sinks. We also have the ability to take those carbon sinks to market. But we don't have the bank account for when the transaction is completed to put that money into that bank account. Ladies and gentlemen, Welcome to your bank account, the Citizen Sovereign Wealth Fund. This is the bank account that unlocks and transforms every single citizen's. It touches your life, but it also touches the length and breadth of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Every single citizen in the country will be affected by this if we are able to follow through and have this legislated into law. This is your bank account, the Sovereign Wealth Fund. We have to be represented by one voice. We have to speak with one voice as a people. We also have to project our vision in a oneness in order to accomplish this mission. This is a mission for the entire country. If you are a citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, this is our mission. This is the call of our generation. So I invite all of you to get on board, and we will walk through this vision plan that is very comprehensive. And the details of it, we will continue to work through those details as we go further on doing presentation after presentations. We have structured the Sovereign Wealth Fund, and the Sovereign Wealth Fund is essentially the bank account. That's the bank account. And we've created some funds from that bank account that affect every single issue in the country. On this side of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, this would be my right hand. All of these funds are related to social engineering of the country. We have the Permanent Distribution Fund. We have the Climate Change Adaptation and Mitigation Fund. And we have the Citizen Healthcare Fund. The other two funds are related to financial engineering of the currency, which is the Citizens Investment Account Sub-Fund and the Citizen Savings Sub-Fund. And we will go through each of these sub-funds in great detail. Each of these sub-funds take down a portion of what is in the Sovereign Wealth Fund. So 100% of the proceeds go into the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And then you have the Permanent Distribution Fund that takes down 30% of what goes into the Sovereign Wealth Fund. You have the Climate Change Adaptation and Mitigation Sub-Fund takes down 10%. The Healthcare Fund takes down 15%. And the other two funds take down 20% each. And we have a 5% retention in the Sovereign Wealth Fund. This fund is designed for maximum security. And I use that word security because once those funds are going into the Sovereign Wealth Fund, in 5 to 7 business days, they drop into all of these other sub-funds. So anybody who had access to that general account of the sub-funds, of the general account of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, they will no longer have the same access to any of these sub-funds. Separate committees and board of directors are set up for each of these sub-funds. That's the control mechanism that we have to protect your money once it goes in to the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And it's important to reiterate that sovereign wealth funds operate outside of government. 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 While the government is responsible for legislating and enacting the sovereign wealth fund into law, after that process is complete, the government no longer has any control over a sovereign wealth fund. This is not a government entity. This belongs to the people. This is not a government entity. This belongs to the people. This is not a government entity. This belongs to the people. This is where we take control of the country. Through the Citizen Savings sub-account. The majority of the purchases in this account are physical gold bars. We will go back to a gold-backed currency. We are going back to the gold standard. And we will also engage in the purchase of what is often of precious metals. We will also purchase foreign currencies. And we have another structure that connects to our foreign currency portfolio in terms of when we sell the carbon credits. Whoever is purchasing those carbon credits, we will be able to determine what currency we want to purchase those carbon credits in. And we will put significant pressure on the Bahamian dollar because if you want to purchase carbon credits from the Bahamas, you must do it in Bahamian dollars. And it does something significant to the Bahamian currency. So imagine a situation where you have $13 billion worth of Bahamian currency in circulation. And now you have access to a carbon sink that you're monetizing at the tune of $156 billion. Every year. Not one time. Every year. So you will be empowering the dollar, the Bahamian dollar, by 8 times every single year. This is a possibility in terms of how we can financially engineer that currency. And to conclude how we will take back our country, this is the conclusion. Foreign entities control your government by purchasing their debt, the debt of the country. We will not pay off the government's debt. The sovereign wealth fund will never pay off the government debt, but we will purchase it. We will control the government because we control the debt. So, those countries and those individuals who want to come into the country and purchase the Bahamian debt so they can have leverage over the country, we will put an end to that. All of these things are possible, but it's only possible with the Bahamian people united around a vision like this. You are the government. The Bahamian people control the 39 seats in the parliament, if you didn't know. Not the PLP, not the FNM, not the COI, the Bahamian people. Let's start being Bahamians again. Because if we look at this country through the lens of being a Bahamian, that's where we find our true identity. And that's where we become free. We become financially free. And we would have completed that cycle from political independence in the country to now being economically independent. Thank you.